9 times out of 10, people are only crazy who they feel they can get that crazy off on. They lied to that girl. They told them that they loved them. They love bombed them to death, and then they just pulled the plug. And now her abandonment issues is kicking in. You lied to that girl. You led her on. You sold her a dream, and you expect her to not be crazy. That's you. I'm not selling no dreams. There's no dreams to be sold here. And I will remind you every day, this is not a dream.
She told you what she was going to tell you.
She said, I work in mental health.
What's your address?
We need the address and the social security.
She's like, what's the name of the organization?
She already got comfortable once. She's like, stop asking me.
I work with kids. With kids. Yeah, I'm in mental health, so I work with kids who are like in crisis and like in the system and things like that.
That's good to know because we don't usually have people that work with kids.
No?
They work with couples and grown adults with issues.
I actually prefer to work with kids.
So we love that.
But maybe if those adults were being worked on or worked with as kids,
absolutely,
they might not be what they're like.
Agreed.
Look at you out here making a difference.
Agreed. Thank you. It's hard work, but somebody got to do it, right?
It starts with Vanessa.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about post-separation abuse, which people get confused with being a bad breakup. There's a difference. Post-separation abuse has to do with everything bad that goes on.
It's really layered when kids are involved. It gets a lot trickier when kids are involved, but it's definitely abuse. Like, what's your definition of abuse? I think a lot of people think that abuse is just putting your hands on somebody and being physical, but there's just so many different versions of what abuse is. And so when you're talking about post-separation abuse, it's just one of those things where someone is trying to be vindictive towards you because they don't agree with your decision to move on from the relationship, right? So people have the right to move on if I want to move on from you, then I recognize that your behaviors were toxic and that they were harmful to me and I want to get out of this, right? But when you have someone who is an abuser, right, they have control issues. So they feel like you're their property versus you just being an individual who is just saying, listen, I want out, right? And so when you make the decision to leave the relationship, they don't have that direct control over you anymore because you guys aren't together. And so what they try to do is use these covert tactics to kind of control you behind the scenes, right? Kind of like poking the bear behind the scenes type of thing, right? Like, it happens with married couples who get divorced, and let's just say over the course of your marriage, husband was a breadwinner, mom was a stay-at-home mom. If the mom decides she wants to go and get a divorce, then, in situations where that abuse is present, the husband can control her financially, right? I'm going to freeze these assets. I'm going to lock you out of these accounts, and now you have no money, and now you're scrambling, right? So that's a way that can be kind of used in an abusive way.
And there's harassment, there's stalking. Yeah.
I was going to say, wouldn't stalking be the
premiere?
It's kind of like, either way, if you guys break up and they're still trying to contact you unwantedly, that would be like
harassment,
stalking,
right? Yeah. And then you don't know who you're dealing with either, right? Like some people are like 100% unhinged and don't care, right? So like they're coming up to your job, they're wreaking havoc in your life, right? Like they're trying to ruin business opportunities, right? Things like that. Like that's abusive too, because that's putting you in a position to lose your livelihood, all because I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
I personally have not experienced one. I've seen it. I know I had to stop a couple of my friends from being crazy. But if you don't mind, someone take the floor and tell us about their own personal experience.
Orders of protection. That is something that I've had to do twice. And
with two different people.
Yeah. I've also been like stalked through my social media, which is really odd because like me. Stalking is just weird altogether. I just don't get like how you have so much time to do that. Like, don't you have a job and a full-time career?
That doesn't matter when somebody has an obsession because that obsession takes precedence over everything.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why
they can be at work.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I've never been in like that mind frame to actually want to continue to see somebody after not wanting to see somebody. So when that happens, I'm like, it's so just like ugh.
Well, that depends. In both situations, were you the one that broke it off?
Well, yeah, but one lady was married, and then her husband contacted me. So, in order for her to
Well,
stop
that makes
doing
sense.
that-
You don't want anything to do with that situation anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't see why you would be the one trying to keep up with what she's doing.
no,
Right. And if you broke off the other one too, it's less likely that the person that broke off the relationship is going to be doing this type of harassing or stalking.
I agree.
Right.
But I mean, unless it's one of those toxic relationships where this wasn't me, definitely wasn't me. But I'm saying like the person, I won't say the woman, but like the person, that's just their relationship where they go back and forth. They break up for a few months. It's like a whole cycle.
Yeah.
And you're expecting that person to come back, and that person doesn't come back. So now the roles are reversed, and now you're the stalker.
Very toxic, narcissistic behavior.
Oh, you're gonna do narcissistic?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Hey.
I'm gonna do that one.
Word.
I rarely use that word, but that's what it is. Hey.
Buzz. It's not that, but
It is.
so you had to take action in getting 2 separate orders of protection, right?
Yeah.
One was the one that you just spoke about, and the other one,
This lady was coming into like my window because I lived.
what? She was
Yeah.
breaking in your home?
Wasn't
That she was breaking in your home.
She was trying to peep through your window.
Damn.
It wasn't breaking
it
it.
was cool at first because like,
What?
that was our thing. But like,
Wait, yeah.
That was
Wait,
that
clean
was
it
y'all
up. What do you
thing.
mean by that was our
I
thing?
wasn't giving her the key to my place, and my place was on the ground level. So I was like, oh, just go through the window.
Just go through
You
the
didn't realize-
window.
When
You
you
didn't
guys
realize
were
she was
dating.
crazy when
We
she.
weren't dating. We were just messing
Okay.
around. Yeah. So, but
But-
then like, if you go through the window and I actually go through the window and I come home and you're in my house, all right, the first time the sex was bombed, and like the third time it's kind of like, yo, you just keep appearing, and I didn't ask you to be here. So
It's like Casper the Friendly Ghost.
yeah. So
I would
That's
not
wild.
like that.
it's
And so the behavior kind of
Like, that's
got
my
excessive once you
house.
decided to like, okay, this is enough. Like I've had enough, and she
Yeah.
just didn't want to accept it.
that, and then like, not only are you sneaking in, but like now you have a toothbrush in my house. Like you're not supposed to be here.
Yo, and
She
when
was
did you
clear
do
on that though, right? Like she knew
Was
that this
she?
was just kind of like a.
Yeah, nobody's staying
Why
at
was
my
there
house.
a third time though?
She would do this thing that I like. Let me be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Well, what was you telling her that made her think she deserved the toothbrush at your house?
You didn't set your boundaries.
You know I can't
I had no
resist.
boundaries, but I'm saying until I was like, stop that, then I had like boundaries, and then yeah, it just went too far, and then so
Got you.
So, in your experiences with orders of protection, like even going to do that, like after that happened, did you feel safe even with that in place?
No,
Because
not at all.
it's a piece of paper, right?
That
So-
I don't think I don't think the laws are really serious about women stalking men. I don't think they're the same. Like I don't think there is level.
You don't think they're taking it seriously?
How did it escalate to that? Because after the third time, was it like, all right, I'm getting an order of protection, or did something like,
Well, no, it wasn't immediately after the third time. It was like after the third time, then like we stopped speaking. And like, so you would just pop in my house like a month or two later, like, all right, now you're bugging. Like, we don't even talk anymore. Like, we'd already broken it off. So it's kind of like, all right, now you're just appearing. I don't like that.
did you let her know that you were gonna do that?
Well, we weren't texting each other. There was no more communication.
No, I'm saying after like, what, a month or two, whatever, without talking, and she appeared in your house, what was the conversation like?
The fuck are you doing here?
And you told her, this
Why
is
was
weird.
this a
I'm gonna go get
conversation?
a order of protection.
Well, no, because then she could have done some crazy shit and like stabbed me up. Like, you don't ever tell somebody. If you already broke into someone's house, your mind's already not straight. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm going to police. Wait right here.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, did the order of protection stop the behavior? Like, did it help, or did it continue? Even after?
No, that time it helped. Yes,
It helped
that helped.
on that occasion.
So
The other time it didn't.
no, because I got into it with the lady's husband, and then it wasn't even necessary to do that because I'm the one that put the order of protection. So like I'm actually helping you save your marriage. So why are you coming to me for? So and it put a dent in their marriage, even though she was cheating. So
Are they still together? Do you know?
I don't care about that lady.
He's like, I don't stalk. I don't
No,
keep up.
No.
But the
I
thing
don't
with
know shit.
the thing to consider with that too, that like is not truly seen, is literally what you're going through behind the scenes, right? Like people don't know how mentally draining, exhausting, and like scary of an experience that is, right? Because if I'm considering having to go to the police to put this order of protection in place, I don't feel safe even in my own home, right? So now you're constantly looking over your shoulder. You have this anxiety, like it affects your mental health. Like you may not be able to show up and perform at work, be a parent to your kids, be a good friend, be a good sister, mother, whatever it is. So it affects you mentally, which then kind of just becomes this domino effect of things that begin to go wrong in your own life because you're just trying to endure this, right? And stalkers get creative, right? Like there's so many instances where you can call the police on somebody stalking you and they're like, there's nothing we could do about it.
Yes.
Right? Like this is a public space, right? And you're like, they're sitting on my fucking steps.
Yeah,
Like,
but they're in public.
yeah, and they're not doing anything to you. They're not. So like, you can go and get an order of protection, but that doesn't necessarily always mean that it's going to be granted.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're dealing with somebody who's smart and resourceful, it's
I got a question for you, Rome. Did you know the B&E girl, right? Did you know she was crazy before you hit it? Like, did you have that? Oh, she's a crazy.
B&E?
She
Yeah, I
might
was
have
pretty
crazy radar.
Breaking and entering for the
breaking in.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like,
Tell them too, 'cause
what
I'm
kind
sure some
of,
people
yes,
out
what
there
is
gonna be
B&E?
confused.
Breaking and entering?
Yeah.
Why did you know that abbreviation?
Yeah, Rico.
Nah,
Because I ain't
was
never
a
heard that
stalker.
before.
Now, Rico, that sounds like something that would be on the order of protection. B&E.
You know, I had
Like
a
insider?
history, but
of stalking.
no. You
I
know,
believe it.
don't even think it's not stalking. It was.
get here?
Nobody's supposed to be here.
So you said you've never had an experience like that before?
Of a stalker woman?
Of anything like anybody going
Stalker
like
man.
berserk after you decided to kind of like break things off? You've never had like an experience like that?
Tell the truth.
To be honest, no. Like, I really haven't. I mean, so there's the closest one was just she pulled up, like, I would say twice, and like she was just sitting in my driveway and called me and begged for me to come outside and try to solicit me with sex to I guess rekindle a friendship because we were never even in a relationship. And I was like, no, but I'm not gonna lie to you. In all fairness, before I even get to that part, I'll just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying?
But you can't control how somebody else, even if you're being forthcoming with them, even if you're being transparent and honest, like you really don't know what people got going on and how they might react to something.
No, but I think every relationship that I've been in, they like I'm trying to find a way to put this, but whether you are a person, a random person, a friend, or a person that I'm in a relationship with, there are consequences for pushing my back to the wall.
And what would those consequences be?
It all depends on what type of way you push my back to the wall. So, like, I think that when people understand that you're not a person to play with, they don't play with you.
But if somebody is not of logical sound in mind,
Then
they
they wanna play
don't
with
give
you.
a damn that you may
but
not
I
be
never-
somebody to play with because they are not mentally stable.
What I'm
right?
saying is, in my life and my history of
You
women,
haven't had that experience.
like, there have been a couple who wanted to fake crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that fake crazy don't work against real crazy. So it's so I never had that situation, and I really do. I set my boundaries and I set the expectations of whatever. Like, if you do this to me, this is how I'm gonna respond to it, and I'm going to max out. I'm letting you know now. I'm gonna max out. So when I decided to break things off, or if they decided to break things off and then tried to rekindle, and I was saying no, I never had to experience that stalker behavior. I mean, there's at this age, I probably have. Well, not probably. I do have a lot more to lose. But when I was younger, I would risk everything, and that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like once that switch would flip, I didn't care what happened. You know what I'm saying? Which was a bad thing. But I guess they kind of saw that as like, yeah, we just gonna let him just go about his merry way, and that was it.
So how do you think you would handle it if a situation, if you did happen to like encounter a situation like you were in a relationship with somebody, it didn't work out for whatever reason, it didn't work out, you chose to break it off and go your separate ways, but now, you know,
Well, I'm a
you
chess
got
player.
somebody coming to your house, coming to your job, you know, executing a smear campaign where they're running around telling like malicious lies about you, things that could hurt your business, things that could hurt, you know, if you have kids, like, you know, like, and they continue to do like those things that necessarily it's like, you know, can I go to the police for these things? No, but they still greatly affect my life, right? And people keep doing stuff like that. You get in a new relationship with somebody and they figure out who that person is, and then it bleeds into your relationship. It bleeds into them potentially stalking like your new partner. So while it's not necessarily physical, now at this point it's fucking with your mental.
I mean, so like it's kind of hard to say. I asked Rome that question because there's girls who I knew was crazy. I could smell crazy on them a million miles away. I still hit it, right? Knowing that she was gonna be crazy. But after I hit it, I did not engage after. A lot of men.
Activated.
I was
the
about-
So he ghosted.
No.
why.
No. Yes.
When I say engage, a lot of men don't know how to do this part, right? Where if they have sex, they don't know how to make sure that that woman understands that it's just sex, and then follow by their actions, right? So they'll say, "Hey, listen, this is just sex," right? But then she'll text him and he'll respond, or she'll text him often and he'll communicate and have full blown conversations with her for 7 days straight. I'm not doing that.
But I think you're lucky to not have had an experience where you ghosted somebody and they ain't come find your ass, right? Because that's something that could send people into a spiral, into a tizzy, right? Like that may not have been your experience, but if you hit the right one who was a little kind of off her rocker and you ghosted her, and in her head y'all was about to get married and she's named y'all kids, oh, she's gonna find your ass and she's gonna make it difficult. I think you're blessed to never have had that experience, but that type of behavior can trigger those types of experiences.
I just like, the thing is, I'm trying to explain to you in the most professional way in front of cameras that there's nobody that's going to be able to do anything that they want to me. Like, I don't know.
I'm not saying you're not going to retaliate in a worse, crazier way. I'm not negating that. This is what I'm saying.
You're not in control of people's crazy actions.
I'm
like,
in control of how long this persists.
No,
No,
okay,
you're
but
not.
I understand
Like,
that
yes, the hell
you think
How?
that nothing can
How?
happen to
controlling
You've never
how
had the
long-
crazy experience, so maybe to you, you're like, oh no, don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of that shit,
Vanessa,
right?
You think I never? So like, you think that?
I asked you and you said no.
I'm saying, you think that girls didn't try to play crazy? I'm saying it got one, maybe two.
I'm not talking about playing crazy. I'm talking about actually.
Yeah, but
Actually, like I'm not talking about you playing and maybe you being dramatic because
give you an
you want
example.
attention and it's an attention-seeking
I'll give you
thing.
an example, right? I'm gonna just use Rome's situation.
Mm-hmm.
A girl comes into my house, right?
through the window.
Through the window, unwarranted, like called for and not communicated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fucking her. Not the first time, not the second time, not the third time. I don't care if she did the thing that I like and crawled while she did it. Right? I'm not doing that because I don't play those games. Once you violate my boundaries, there is nothing that you can do to make me be seduced. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is, and I say this often, when a woman or a man, they'll try you. We all try each other's boundaries. And if you budge on your boundaries, you've now given mixed signals. There is no mixed signals. You don't have to guess. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. Like, that's just, I'm not doing it.
So take away her coming through your window and take away and just make it that she's acting super regular with you. You guys are vibing. You guys already had sex, and then she does something crazy, or
Like
that you,
after sex? Like,
sure.
Like the same, I'm saying like the same day? Or
Nah,
like later
because
on that week or something?
I feel like
Later
how
off
they- how
that
they
week
say-
when you ghosted her.
how they say people show up at, with their representative and that mask on, and like she's vibing with you so much and she's realizing that she can't keep up this whole facade and she's only doing what you like So then she starts slipping and you see more of her. And you're like, yo, she knows that you're not fucking with it. So she starts pulling back, right? And the fact that you're not fucking with it makes her crazy. And now she can't go back to what you like because that's not really her.
Do you feel, and I'm asking this question because I'm being honest, guys. Do you feel like the people who were crazy in your life, whoever it was, do you feel like they ever felt empowered with you?
Absolutely.
That's what never happens with me. I never give them that power to feel like they have the power.
But regardless of whether or not you feel like you're giving them the power to feel that with you, you cannot control someone's actions. You cannot control someone's thoughts. You cannot control how people are triggered by something. Like, you have no control over other people's actions. You can control how you handle it, in that you're like, if this were to happen to me, this is what I'm going to do. But you can't control what somebody else is going to do.
Because how are you gonna control her showing up to your barber?
Well,
To your job,
the thing
to
is
your
this,
job.
to your mama house.
that would never.
Right.
First of all, my mom not playing that game either. She going.
I'm not. No, what I'm telling you, like,
What I'm trying to.
there can be repercussions. Like, things might happen if this person does that. So I get what you're saying, in that if they do that, this is what's going to happen. But what I'm saying is, you can't control that may actually happen.
What I'm trying to say is this.
You can't control. You can't
What I'm
stop
trying
the
to say is
start
this.
of the crazy.
Okay, I get it. What I'm saying is this. Crazy doesn't typically go 0 to 100. It's in increments, right? So now, if you're
Not necessarily.
if you're thinking from a man's standpoint, I do think crazy for men goes to a 0 to 100, but with women, it's in increments, right? So when a woman shows that she's crazy, or she has acted out of some type of craziness, that was only her level 2. Right? Now, if I enable that or allow that to persist, now it's going to jump to a 7. Then it goes to a 10. At 2, it's stopping. At 2 is done.
So you're not understanding, because at 2, that's when she's going to start, because she hasn't got a reaction out of you. Because like crazy people want that reaction out of you. Like, that's what they thrive
And they don't care about your reaction because they're unstable. So it's just like, oh, okay.
I think.
Babe, I love you.
think
And that's why
you
I
just gotta
don't
be stronger than you're
suggest that-
crazy.
I don't suggest that people ghost when they know that a girl is crazy. Because you said you knew that girl was crazy.
Yeah, but I didn't say ghost. I said I don't engage. So like, if you text me, I'm not gonna have a full blown conversation. I might text you 6 hours later and be like, hey, listen,
But that's still doing the dangling.
No,
Right?
because you cut me off. I might say, hey, listen, I might answer her question and be like, well, that this was just sex. I want to make sure that you understand that. So then eventually, like, after 2 weeks, it fizzles out, right? And then that's it. I don't dangle them and give them like false hopes. I tell them, I might answer. They might say, how was your day? I will answer at the end of my day. My day was great, and I want to make sure that you remember it was just sex.
So if you ghost a girl, right, and you had no idea that this girl was, unstable in the way that she is, because you don't really spend that time with her, right? Like, if this is just somebody,
You can see unstable,
right? So
see
no, but
unstable.
people, there are people who are
hidden.
Hide it well.
functionally
I was about to say, you don't know at
unstable,
first.
right? Like, you don't know, and they may operate in society fine until they're triggered by something specifically that sets them off. You may not know what that thing is if you really don't know this person, because you're not spending the time with them, right? So let's just say you hit and you're like, all right, she might be a little off, or I'm not really feeling her, and like you said, you don't engage, right? What if that triggers her abandonment issues, right? Maybe she has abandonment issues, and now she's like, oh shit, he's ghosting me, right? Like, you don't know what that could trigger in somebody, right? And they can show up to your house because they know where you, like, if they know where you live, or they know where they can, find you, or if they're stalking you, they're gonna find you, and boom, I'm so crazy, I want to end it today. I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna kill myself. How many stories have we heard like that?
I mean, let's be.
So you wouldn't be able to control if you triggered something in me that you knew nothing about, and now I'm so angry, I'm coming to shoot your ass.
I'll be honest with you, Vanessa, right? I'm being 100% honest.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say an amount of people, sexual, intimate people and relationships that me and you both had, I'm going to say I surpass you by a lot, right?
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, out of all of those people, I have not got that situation. I have not got that response. What I'm trying to say is that there is a way to go about things. And when you don't do them, I feel like when people feel played with is when they go crazy, right? I don't play with nobody. Just because we have sex don't mean I play with you. I didn't tell you I love you.
She might feel that.
No.
That's what she's trying to say.
Right.
She's
It's
trying
not
to tell
that you actually
I
did
get
it,
it.
but she might process it that way.
No.
Because you hit, she's taking that as like, I let you inside of me, and now you were the closest person, and I've been holding off for
Yeah,
like
it's not
6
you,
years,
it's
and you were
her.
the one.
But that's the thing. If a girl told me she's been celibate for 8 months, I'm not hitting it.
Don't hit that.
I'm not hitting
I'm
it.
saying maybe she didn't tell you. Maybe she won't tell you.
No,
telling
every
the truth, and
every
that's
girl
why
will
her
tell
crazy.
you.
The thing with trauma is that you don't know how it's going to manifest in you, right? Like when you go through traumatic experiences, you don't know how that's going to manifest for you until it does, right? So you can say all you want that this is not how you're going to take something that's why it's called snap, right? Like you don't know how a traumatic experience from your past is going to activate something in you right now in the present, right? So this person might have literally been a stable person, but something that happened to them or something that someone did to them
It was your action.
triggered something, right? But
that's your action.
That might not have been something that you necessarily did on purpose. Like you might have really been like, yo, I crossed off, I crossed my T's, I dotted my I's, I didn't activate the crazy, but that person might not have taken it that way.
No, because
so
you
it's not
didn't do it
necessarily
right.
you and what you
Vanessa,
might do,
you gotta
how
be able to
they
do it.
You also have to
operate.
remember, I'm sorry to cut you off. You also have to remember, like we discussed before, you never been a part of like a serious heartbreak.
Like,
Yeah, it just hasn't been his
my heart.
experience.
Yeah, remember how I told you last time?
Yeah,
Like you're
because
operating
the
from
thing
like
is,
this,
you
not
gotta
being
know
scorned
people.
or having a scorned woman like that.
Yeah,
Until you're in that position, you could say like, "Oh, you're not gonna do this." They're
I
gonna
think
do it.
this though, and I'll be 100% honest with you. I've seen crazy my entire life, right? I've seen crazy people. I've seen crazy men. I see people do crazy things, like real crazy things. I know what crazy is, but what I'm trying to tell you is 9 times out of 10, people are only crazy who they feel they can get that crazy off on.
Or they're just crazy.
No, they know like, yo, I could
No
be
barriers.
crazy with you. I could be crazy with you. It's going to go to this far. And guess what? You see every time, if you watch all these shows where people are incrementally crazy. I'm not talking about Snap. Snap is a different thing. That's the last straw that broke the camel's back. There's nothing coming back from that. And there's not that many Snap cases as there are just regular crazy cases. When you see the regular crazy going in increment, it's going up, right? It's something that was either enabled, something that was brushed off, not taken seriously for the first, second, or third time, or something that they did. They lied to that girl. They told them that they loved them. They love bombed them to death, and then they just pulled the plug, and now her abandonment issues is kicking in. You lied to that girl. You led her on. You sold her a dream, and you expect her to not be crazy. That's you. I'm not selling no dreams. There's no dreams to be sold here. And I will remind you every day, this is not a dream.
But you can agree that even if you don't ever sell that dream, there's still like a possibility,
yes.
that
But-
person can.
But the odds are not. The possibility is anything is possible. But I could tell you, like, if I take all my friends and I'm like, yo, we're gonna add up all the women that we've had an experience in our lives. We all told each other the crazy stories that happened with different women. Some of them had crazy women, some of them didn't. One of my homies had a crazy girl that went to the extent of calling the police. She went into his dorm. This is a real story. She went to his dorm, called the police when he got there, and said he hit her, and he never did nothing. Right? They had to run a whole investigation, and then just to find out that she was lying.
That's a form
Right?
of abuse.
But guess what he did? He wanted to call himself Prince Charming. He wanted to charm her every day. He wanted to love bomb her and pull the plug on her. Nobody deals well with that fall. And I feel like most of the times we gotta take responsibility in the crazy that we tend to activate. I'm not activating it. I could look at some people and be like, yo, she crazy. Now, is it a crazy that I kind of like? A little bit. Now, is it a crazy that I'm gonna trigger? Yes. Okay, y'all gotta stay away from it. My friends, all my homies said, don't touch it. She's crazy. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying not to. Right? But I did anyway. And her craziness came. But we had to put out that fire.
All the way.
Yeah, but like,
it's not
it's
just
all the way, but it ain't all the way because somehow this person ends up being
Intertwined.
fucking somewhere, and I'm like, why is she always around? Like, she needs to go. Like, get her out of here. But you can't stop that though.
So what about the other aspects, right? Like I think stalking is just kind of like one aspect of what post-separation abuse can be, right? Like there's different ways to be abusive to someone that doesn't necessarily fall in the category of like stalking, especially if we're talking about like people who are in the middle of a divorce, they're sharing children, right? Like if somebody is trying to be abusive to their spouse, right? What happens? They put those kids in the middle and they start to use them as pawns, right?
Right.
You start to do that parental alienation thing where you're telling your kids this, you're pitting your kids against the other parent, right? Like you're doing things like that, which is wreaking havoc in someone's life. Like that is like mental and emotional abuse, right? Because now not only do I have to deal with like the issue of a divorce or like just separating from somebody, now I have to deal with this issue with my kids,
Yeah,
right?
now I'm
Like
fighting for my kids.
right now I have to fight for my kids and I have to rewire my kids and I have to hope it works. So now you're imposing that trauma on not only me but now the children that are in the picture, right? And if anybody's a parent, you have to think about how hard that is to watch like your own child turn against you because of what somebody's trying to do to get to you, right? They can't get to you directly, so they have to use these little tactics. Like that right there can ruin anybody's life, right? You develop all types of mental health issues, right? So now you're developing depression, you're developing anxiety, you're looking at, developing PTSD. And these are things that literally change you. Like I said, trauma quite literally changes your DNA, your personality, shrinks your brain. Like you literally become a different person because of what someone is doing to you.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and I've seen a lot of people have this situation. People in my circle of friends growing up, and now I'm in a position. And if there's something that would be able to get to me, the only thing in life that would be able to get to me would only be something that would put a dent in a relationship with me and my children, right? That's the only way somebody can get to me. And you know what's sick? I'm gonna be honest with you. I always, and this is crazy because growing up, I would see how women would use kids as pawns and turn them against their fathers, and I would see the effect that it had on their fathers because we be driving and he's going through it and he breaking down in my passenger seat, or you know what I'm saying, and they just think like, oh, he's a deadbeat. No, like she's really a manipulative woman who's using these children against him. And I remember I told him, and this is the craziest thing, because he came back and said to me after I had my daughter, and I said, you love your children too much. He was like, what? I was like, you love your children too much because if she can use your children against you to destroy you like this, you have too much love in them. And he was like, that makes sense, but it sounds crazy. I didn't have kids at the time, right? So now as I have my child, and I'm like, when I started loving my daughter too much, I said to myself, damn, I'm loving my kids too much. Because this is now the only thing in my life that can destroy or, break me down as a person.
And that's typically the avenues that abusers take, right? Like they know, like if they know you and you guys have had a relationship, they know you, they know what your triggers are, they know what buttons to push, they know what's important to you, right? And those are generally the avenues that they're going to take. What is the most important thing to him? If it's his family, I'm going to get at him through his family, right? I'm going to try every little thing I can to affect you through your family because I know I can't get to you directly because you've separated yourself from me, but I'm going to use every little thing that I know is important to you as a weapon against you.
Correct.
Do you feel like, and I do, but I'm asking you three, do you feel like women and men play the game differently? And if so, how so?
Absolutely. I feel like women more, not all, excuse me. I feel like more women have the ability of using the child as a pawn, especially women who are the custodial parent. And I feel that men's only avenue is to go through the legal system.
But men never do that.
And not never.
Well, I won't say never, but I know
Hold on now.
a lot of men are like afraid and like opt out of like going through the court thing because they feel like they're never gonna win, right? So that's generally what I've heard from men. Like, I'm not even gonna bother with that because they feel like courts automatically favor women, so they just feel like they don't even want to put themselves in a position to do that. So I know a lot of men say like that's the reason why they don't like.
It's also a very long downhill battle, and
Downhill battle.
You're basically fighting to get downhill or uphill.
Uphill means
Whatever's hard.
positive. Downhill means bad.
So I'm saying downhill as
It's negative.
negative. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
it's a downhill battle.
Uphill battles are hard though because
okay,
you're
yeah,
fighting.
Or is it just one word to use?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but what he's trying to say is that even once you win, get to the
Going
top and the
downhill.
uphill is still not a win.
because
So that's why he's saying downhill. Like, but I
It's
go
easy
down.
to go down.
Yeah, but down could be worse because you are going
use a
down
struggle.
financially.
we'll use the
It's
word
a struggle.
It's a struggle.
It is a struggle.
Use the word struggle.
I got what you meant though.
Yeah, it becomes a struggle financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, because you still, I mean, even though women have the child at home and have the child more time than the men, it still affects men as well. And it also changes how they feel about the whole situation as a whole, because it's almost like a man will feel powerless. So I understand what you're saying, how men give up, because it's honestly not the easiest thing to do. It's actually the hardest thing to do. But if you really fought all you can fight and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, that's what happens.
But it's going to be hard regardless of how the cookie crumbles. You just have to choose your hard, right? So if you don't go through the legal process and she does, and now she has the favor legally, you're still going to struggle on that end too. So if it's going to be hard either way, go fight for your children.
Well, you got to understand that men are operating from a sense of hope at that point, right? Now men are just getting to the hope. Well, you know what? I just hope my child's gonna get old enough and see the truth and ask for the truth. They're gonna eventually get a cell phone. They're gonna eventually be able to get in contact with me, and I'll be able to speak to my child. This can't last forever.
But that's an abusive thing that women can do to men, and that happens.
Yeah. No,
Men
we're
to
not
women,
saying that.
and
Yeah.
men to women.
Yeah.
So
And men
that's
to women too,
women.
right?
Well, it doesn't have to be cheating, but I feel like you have to do something really bad.
Egregious, right?
Like you have to
Doesn't
you
have to be.
hurt them in the worst way possible for them to feel like they need to get back at you, like they need to get some kind of revenge and they need to ruin you.
That's men with money. So like they got to understand, like, when a man has the financial power to put you in a position to not have to work, especially in 2024, where literally $100 bill is a new $10, right?
For real.
So if he's and mind you, we're not talking about one day and we're not talking about 1 month. We're talking about 7 years, 5 years, 10 years. You know, men calculate how much they invested into a relationship once it ends, right? And that's the breaking point. So if I, had you put up, in the lifestyle that you would like, or just in a lifestyle that was not strenuous in terms of finances, and you cheat on me or that man, you're gonna think like, wow, every single hour that I put forth into getting this dollar or dollars, that I eventually put it into the house because she wanted this size house. A lot of times the things that we acquire is usually for the woman to have a more comfortable living, right? She wants a bigger house, she wants this car, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If a man has those finances or he works towards those finances and accomplishes this and gets her all these things and she still goes out and cheats on him, that is a snapping, breaking moment for that man to try to destroy her afterwards.
But you're still a man in a relationship where cheating is possible. So you being a man with money shouldn't be like, I'm using all of my money on her or I'm getting her what she wants, so this should be a kept woman.
No,
There's always a possibility that anyone in a relationship is going to cheat, whether you have money or not.
But the thing is this, Amanda, the man that she cheated on him with cheated for far less. So now,
Can it be like that?
no. It's always like that. So a man would rather say this: let me be the dude that doesn't cost me anything, where you're gonna sneak and have sex with me in the back of a Starbucks. Right? I'm just saying, because what else? Where else is she? She's
that
married.
was really
You get what I'm saying?
specific.
In the back, yeah. That's parked. Yeah, but I'm saying the car is parked.
Ain't getting
at
no
the Starbucks
espresso
back parking
martinis
lot.
out of there.
You're in the back, not in Starbucks, but in the back of the Starbucks in the car. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like let me be the one that you're fucking in the car for free. You're like, you're costing me day in and day out. Like, there's so much different stress levels and just there's so many different things that go into providing for a woman, right? It's a lot.
So that means that, like, if something like that were, so, because you said men with money do that. So you said men with money are
ability to
typically do
provide.
the financial abusive thing, right? Like
No, they'll do the destroying thing. I said that was the financial abuse could also be that too, but it could also, you don't have to have money per se like that. You can just have enough power where the woman doesn't work and she was.
That's what I'm saying. Right. That's right.
But the men who like, and I'm just saying, like, me personally, if I did everything I could to give you the life that you wanted and you still cheated for free.
That means I should be financially abusing you?
No, that means you got to go.
No, I'm really asking.
You got
I
to
just
go.
don't
I'm really asking. Because
fucking
I'm
go.
not saying that that's not a trifling,
Yeah.
bold ass thing to do, like the nerve, the audacity. But
Because it's like
that doesn't equate, that necessarily does, like, that shouldn't equate to you thinking that you can
Have her under your
use money to get back at me, like financially abuse me because you're her. I'm not agreeing with what she did.
Well,
And it starts at the
I don't think that
finances.
financial abuse is.
Financial abuse is like finances is generally like one of the top things people
I'm
like
saying-
get divorced over.
But I'm
Like,
saying the
it's usually money.
finance. If a man is agreeing to take care of a woman, I feel like in the back of his mind, he has that power.
Right.
So I feel like he's asserting that power throughout the whole relationship. And now that it doesn't go his way,
That's what's abusive about it.
can't
though.
he really say anything when he was holding all the power?
It was his.
But that's where it becomes abusive, because if we have this understanding where you're the breadwinner and I stay at home, whether it be like stay at home mom or like this was just the agreement when we came into this relationship, anytime like something goes wrong in the relationship, right, and you try to dangle that over my head,
it's always
right?
this.
That is what is abusive about the situation, because if we came into this agreement together, right, you agree to this and this is A-okay as long as things are good, right? But then like we have, you know, a bad experience. Now all of a sudden it's like, I'm taking everything away from you.
Well, I mean,
Like that means it was transactional and conditional from the very beginning. You weren't doing this out of the goodness of your heart. You weren't doing this because this is really something that you wanted to do with me or for me. You did it because you knew, like you said, at the end of the day, I'm gonna hold them cards in the back of my
You have the
in my
upper
back pocket, right?
I don't know. You did it because the thing is this: as a man and as a woman, there's things that you come with, right? So if I'm providing these things for you, even if I don't have it right now, and let's say throughout a 5-year relationship, I acquire these things. These are the perks that come with me. You're not gonna get to continue to indulge in the perks that come with me after, one, you do me wrong, and two, you leave. These are the perks that came with me. Yeah, did I get them for you? Yes, but they're still going to be here without you. So because they will be here without you, you're not going to enjoy them when you decide to be without me.
I'm not necessarily saying continue to enjoy them, because if that person does something to you and you decide to say, you know what, that's my
Well, I'm
breaking
saying like a car. Let's say I bought a car, right? I forgot who's a celebrity. They're going through I don't know if a breakup or a divorce. Is it Drea? And he took the Rolls Royce back. He said that the Rolls Royce was not allowed to be
breaking up with her
filmed.
baby.
Oh,
daddy?
it was somebody. Isn't it like an athlete who has
Didn't have
like
the baby.
like children with this person?
I forgot exactly what it is, but she's on the show. So the woman is on the show, and she was using his car that he bought, that's in his name, that is insured in his name, right? That he allowed her to keep up until all this different smear campaign started going back. So then he had the car taken back, and he also sent a cease and desist to someone in Viacom to no longer record or air anything with my vehicle in it. Right? So those episodes that she was in, driving that car,
He stopped her back.
they had to stop it.
Gotta
But
be housewife.
If it was a car that he said he bought for her and I gifted this to you, right? Like, or was it his car that he was allowing her to drive?
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
like, because that's two different
Unless
things.
you just made that up.
No, it's on. You could look it up. Every single like most men are not buying, and this is the thing women need to understand. Most men are not buying a car and putting it and keeping it in his name, or keeping the registration or the title in his name and insuring it in his name with intentions of it being unconditionally yours as a woman. If it is in his name, if it is insured in his name.
It's not her car. It's not a car he bought for her.
No,
it is his car that he's allowing her to use.
He bought it for her as long as she's with me. Again, these are the perks that come with the man. Now, if you decide to be without the man, you do not get those perks.
I just want to say, she is absolutely right. Because you can't be giving me a car that is insured and the title is in your name.
It's not my car.
This is your car.
It's your car.
I'm just
that
driving
you want
it.
You want to be able to.
I'm in a relationship with you. You are letting me drive your car.
No, as long
And
as
I'm not agreeing with the moral part of like her doing. I'm not saying like that's cool. I'm just saying like you said, if you bought this car and your idea is, yeah, I'm gonna let her use it, but it's mine because if she.
Exactly, because if she
mine, it's
goes
ours.
Anywhere, no,
as long as she don't
goes
leave, it's ours.
But that's stupid.
No, it's not.
But that's manipulative.
No,
it is.
not.
And manipulation is abuse. I think
So
it
when you were
leans
a
more
kid-
towards in the abusive category. Like I said, if like an example of children are involved, right? And like we break up, even if we break up because I'm the one who did something wrong to you, but we share kids, and you know that I need this car to get our children back and forth and to get back and forth to work to earn money because maybe right. Like, and you take that from me, that is abusive because now you're hindering my ability to.
Listen, we're talking about a Rolls Royce here. We're not talking about a Honda Civic. Okay.
What does the make and model of the car have to do with any of this shit?
I'm gonna tell you the only way it'd be abuse. If I bought you these heels.
No, that scenario I just gave you. You don't think you don't think that that's abusive?
No.
Even if it is a Rolls Royce, that's the only car she got.
Do this scenario. 'Cause I
No.
want to hear this.
Yeah, do you? So that scenario, right? Like we break up for whatever reason, we have kids together, right? And it's just like, okay, we're in the thick of it. Like we haven't settled anything. We're figuring out how we're going to move forward, but we're not together, right? But I need this car because I have to take the kids back and forth to school, extracurricular activities. I got to get back and forth to work to keep the roof over my head because you're not with me anymore. You're not, even if you were paying it, you're not paying it anymore. So now I got to do this for myself. So taking that away from somebody because you're upset is manipulative. And manipulation is abuse.
I would say, well, first I would have to ask the question, why do you have to take the kids to school?
I don't.
No.
That's just the scenario.
I get it. But what happens is when a woman and a man who has children separate, the first thing a woman does is says that she needs whatever that man has acquired for the kids. Right now, if the man has the means, the availability to do exactly what you're trying to do to tend for the kids, no. You going to your job is on you.
That's if a man wants to do it. Because,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if you have the means and I don't, then you should be doing it.
I'm going to agree that most men would want to do it nowadays. I know I would do it. Rome, would you do it?
Hold on. You gonna take the kids to school, but the kid, y'all not together. Y'all not okay, but y'all live together though. Y'all not living.
Is there only one car? I don't mean to interrupt you. For the relationship, there's only one car. No. There's two cars.
So he has a car. She has a car.
Okay, then.
But you just took away,
right?
You're
taking away her car when you already have a car.
So look,
you're taking away from your kids too.
No.
That's
my thing is, why do the kids have to be with her?
Okay, so there's that. So why? But hold on.
But that's the main thing that you need the car because honestly,
but
if the kids don't live with you, I could care less about you. That's what women need to understand. If my kids live with me and I can bring them to and from school and practice, I don't care about how you get to work.
But
I don't care. No. Listen. I don't care about how you get to work. I don't care about the lights on in your house. I have zero attachment to you as long as the kids are with me.
And
so what the woman will do is make sure that the kids. No, the woman will make sure the kids are with them because as long as the kids are with them, a man will have to tend to them. That is the truth.
Hold on.
That's some women.
Well,
first of all,
that's some women.
That's some women.
That's
but
some
the
women.
men who are capable of taking care of those kids and doing the due diligence for those children, she knows she will not, and she will forbid and make it a hell for him to have those children, because she knows he will not tend to her at all.
But that's her. But that's her being abusive to you.
Exactly.
But that's what we're talking about. It's not necessarily.
I'm saying you take the car away from her, right? Now she has no way of taking the kids to school, and you say, "Fuck that! I'm gonna take the kids to school." And in order for me to have to take the kids to school every day, they're coming to stay with me. But she's like, hold on. These are my kids. Now, because I cannot take them to school, now they can't live with me.
You're not a fit parent.
And now because you took that away from me. So we're going to go to the court.
You're not a fit
you
parent.
took my car
That goes back into the whole court thing, right? Because like you said, there are instances like that where it's at the end of the day, like you should be able to do for yourself as an adult. But like you said, you're like, you know what? I'm taking the car. If you don't have the ability to get the kids to school, then I'm going to do it. But what about those instances where we just were talking about where men don't take that step to go to the court to say, you know what? Because, you can vent and complain all as much as you want about how you got more and you might be more stable. But if you're not taking the step to go fight, to put yourself in position, then you're going to lose.
Those men aren't the ones that are doing it. That's why those men don't have those means. And those men typically don't have the life set up, you know what I'm saying, to provide for the kids. They might have to work 70 hours a week. So the first thing the judge is going to say is the kids can't be with you. You don't have time. Now, if we go back, right, this is part of the reason why women, really fought hard to get the rights to work, because back in the day when they got divorced, the kids automatically went to the men. The men had the money. The men were the only ones allowed to work.
When the financial abuse was heavy and rampant because women didn't have the option to go get their own. So
but that's what I'm saying. So now you have women that will work just to alleviate that potential situation, which is cool. So now what I'm saying is we're operating in a space of equality in 2024, right? You have the same right to get a job. No matter if I tell you I don't want you to work, a woman can get up and go work regardless of my decision. You like that, Rome? So, what happens is when she opts not to work, or let's say she does work, but she still does not make enough, what happens is that woman will definitely do her best to make sure she has the kids, especially if this is a stable man, because as long as she has custody and supervision of those children, he must tend and take care of her as well to some capacity. That is the most post-separation abuse
that
happens in America today.
You're saying that the man has to take care of her.
The women automatically have custodial rights.
No, that's not true. From
initial separation.
That's not true, because when
she benefits from a man having to pay child support.
What? No,
but let me.
No.
Let me tell you. No. Because when you go to court for custody and child support, it's not just the man that has to give up his financials. The woman has to give up her financials too. So if you're doing good and you think that this is just going to be a money grab because he makes some, no, they have to compare all of those things. It's like, it's not just the man. It's not just the non-custodial parent who has to submit their financials. Both parties have to submit their financials, and that has absolutely nothing to do with, like, the man is not contributing. You're not supporting me. You're supporting these children, right? And so,
to what extent? Now we're gonna get. That's
it depends on their income.
But you're not gonna have to pay her rent because your kids live there now.
Of course not. But what happens is this, right? If a man and a woman breaks up, and they have kids, and she moves out, those kids are going with her. Same day. You understand, Amanda? Same day. That was
I get it.
Not in most situations.
That was the question that you had. Like how did the women are granted the kids the same day?
That wasn't a question for me. I know that, but I'm saying you want the kids to stay with you because you got the car and you can take them to school. Because you're saying that I'm an unfit parent now because you took the car away from me.
I took my car. I took my car.
The car that I was using to get our children.
Let me ask you this, right? Like, let me, because I think it's a layer.
Personal.
No, I think it's a layered thing, right? It's not just about material stuff, right? Like, if you know that taking this car away from me is going to send me in a spiral, because if you take this car away from me, and you're saying, you know what, you don't have this car, I got it, I'm taking the kids, and you're taking my kids away from me, you know the mental like strain that's gonna have on a woman, right? Like, you know, doing something like that with her children will have, it's the same thing when women use kids as pawn towards men. I'm not saying it's just women towards men or men. It goes both ways. I'm just saying it's the same thing when a woman is using her children as a pawn against the man because he no longer wants to be with him, or she just wants to get revenge on him because she's upset. Yeah, you are being abusive to that man. But in the same respect, right? Like, if you know if you know this particular action is going to put me in a position of being mentally strained.
But you're forcing, see, this is what happens. And now we are still on topic. When we're talking about post-separation abuse.
That's an abusive tactic, though, because you know that's really going to make my mental, like, you know that's going to drive me crazy, that I can't do what I normally do in our everyday lives with our kids. Like, you know that's going to affect me.
You got to understand, though, and this is what women that think like that has to understand as well. You're forcing a man to choose you over him.
What are you talking about?
So listen, hear me out. If I say, you know what, I know it's going to have a mental strain on her. I know it's going to put her on a spiral, but you know what? I'll be the sacrificial lamb. I'll let the kids go with her. I'll let her keep everything. And I'm going to be the one to go into depression. I'm going to be the one that's going to deal with not seeing my kids when I wake up. I'm going to be the one that has to take that sacrifice. So it's not right to say.
That's if that person is, if you know that person is going to be petty.
Well,
right? Because not everybody, like, we're just talking about the situation.
Men don't care about being with their children every day.
Who said that?
But what I'm saying is, why do we think that the impact isn't the same?
I literally just said the impact is the same. When women use children as pawns, they are being mentally abusive to the father.
Your scenario is literally men using children as
men
pawns.
using materials that because they know it's going to, right? Because if you really, regardless of any bad situation you went through that ended the relationship, if you really had any love and respect for this particular person, then you have the ability to be amicable. You know what, right? Like, I'm gonna give you 60 days to get a car, right? And if you don't get that car in 60 days, then yes, I'm gonna take my kids, right?
You get a grace period. I think
if we're co-parenting, right, then the goal is the kids. It's not about me versus you.
I don't think people keep this level. Like, I think people's code of ethics change. Like,
once they're not together.
Yes, the line definitely moves.
Yeah. Your integrity, the respect.
I don't care. Yeah,
all that's out of the door. Like when we're in war. So it sounds good. But
the 60 days actually does sound good because that's
60 days.
because
I'm saying that's a scenario.
Giving proof
that means you didn't give a fuck about me to begin with.
I don't give a fuck about you now. It's entirely different. When I gave a fuck about you, you had the car.
But do you give a fuck about your kids? Do you give a fuck about your kids? Because if your kids have a mother who is stressed out, who is drained, who is depressed, and who's going through all of these kids,
so that's my point. The thing is this, right? Yeah, go. Yeah, and I want. If that's what I was gonna say. Mind you, we're talking about infidelity here.
We were not.
That's what, no, because
this is what's making it go in that direction where you're like, yo, if you cheated on me and I take my car, that's on your ass. That's different.
That's what I was talking about the entire time.
That's
if we come to a mutual separation, this war does not happen.
Yeah, I'm definitely out of sight, out of mind, because I don't want to see shit. Because I know me, and if I see shit, it's gonna be shit.
But that's you emotionally regulating yourself. Me. That's you knowing what your triggers are, and you're like, I know if I see it, it's gonna be some shit. So I'm gonna put myself in a position to make sure I never see it. You're not looking at the page, or you're not looking for it, right? I
ain't gonna lie. You know what? I am part of the post-separation abuser. Because I will go viral.
I'm planning how I'm posting my pregnancy. I'm like, I'm getting pregnant next year. You're going to be tight.
I will go viral with my new relationship. You don't want to see it.
Why would you do that?
But why, right?
Because
you still give a damn about.
I'm mad.
I'm very upset. Petty.
I'm upset.
But you're not, though.
So,
I am, but I'm not, but I am.
This is how Americans get. This is American.
So you petty is hell, is what
it depends if I really, see, my thing is, with me personally, it all depends on how we end. How we end will really be the determining factor of what person you get what version of me you get afterwards, right? If you cheat on me, if you were dogging me out, I am ready to go to bat, right? And I'm gonna keep on.
You tit for tat. You're not just gonna be like, you know what? Let karma eat your ass out.
This is tat 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 tat. It's not tit for tat, nothing, because you ain't gonna give me how.
So
I'm
you
going
emptying the clip. So you.
Yeah, I'm going all out.
That's who you are.
But it's really because.
No, he literally just said
I'm all in. Yeah, yeah.
Just said it. Like, did you not just say it?
It's cool. I'm an all in type of person. See, I'm a fixated person.
You sound crazy.
If I'm with you,
crazy.
I'm with you. If I'm against you, I'm against you, right? And this is everything in life.
But saying I'm a post-separation
everything in life.
abuser is not something to be proud
that
of.
is-
So I
yeah,
really
that
want
is
you to
crazy.
recant that statement.
No, listen.
No. I'm just.
We're gonna be listen.
Yeah, you can't
We're gonna
admit
be
to being
real.
an abuser.
I'm not.
And
First
he
of all,
was joking.
Time
on
out.
the camera.
All four of us on the couch are not gonna sit here and say we never done nothing out of spite after a breakup to try to get our ex mad.
I'm not.
I am
trying to
the
go viral with my new
block
girlfriend.
you,
No, I'm
ignore
not
you,
saying I'm at a level
ghost
10.
you,
I gotta
and
think.
get the fuck up out of Dodge. And you can ask any of them, okay?
no.
If you would have, huh? I don't give a fuck.
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Thank you, Amanda. See, this
don't-
is where we here with it. I want smoke.
I don't give a damn because in my experiences, I've been the ones to leave the relationship because of things that have been done to me. So I make the decision to leave. I don't need to go tit for tat with you. I don't need to follow. I don't need to check in on you and
Were
see
you
what
ever
you
on
got
the other
going on. Like, I'm good. Like, I want to remove myself
Yeah, and move
from
on.
this person. Like 1,000%. I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to see you. I don't like. I'm good. I complete
But wait,
because
no,
that's
no,
that's
no,
how
no,
I
no.
operate.
But wait,
That's
hold
how I
on.
operate.
Wait, Rome.
But that
Rome.
goes back to the point of
wanna
how we
ask her,
ended, though.
That's why I
That
wanna
really
ask-
goes back to the
exactly.
point of how we ended.
Have you ever been the person that did wrong?
No, I've been the one to end my relationships because of things that have been done to me.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to walk away because you did everything right.
No, because even if you do something wrong, if you
I'm
really
lying because if you
reflecting-
do me wrong, I'm ready to
No.
fight.
If I did wrong, I'd actually be okay with you being happy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Amanda. Thank you. I pound that.
Well,
I'm with that.
the unpopular opinion though, like even though somebody does you wrong, that doesn't mean that they deserve to be unhappy
That part.
in their life, right?
say
Like,
that. I just
you know,
wanna
you
ask
might want to be like, yeah, go to hell, and I mean it. But just because somebody has done me wrong, that doesn't mean that you deserve to live the rest of your life in an unhappy phase.
That's
like
the
what?
universe
What?
removing
We're
what's
not
for
saying
you.
that. That's
Right?
that's
No, that's
extreme.
not- yeah.
We're just saying right
not
now
saying that.
you need some smoke. You know, and
And you gonna
I'ma
feel
provide
it. You gonna feel it, right? Because
Like-
my absence is what's gonna make you feel that. Because down the line, you may not even see it in the present, but down the line, you'll see, right? Because when you really lose out on a solid person, like I said, even if you don't see it up front, you're gonna see down the line when you deal with other people, and you're like, damn, I really fucked up.
Nobody's
So
me.
you
Right,
never
so
see-
that's the punishment right
Nobody's
then and
me.
there. Why do I need to do anything?
That's the
Losing me
punishment.
is
So-
the punishment.
You never
a new
seen,
bitch and she's not me.
Let me
Best
ask
of
you this
luck.
question,
He
Vanessa.
got a new bitch, and it
What's
wasn't
up,
you.
Rico?
You
because
never
of
Not
seen
me.
you never
Hold
seen
on.
I'm just saying that's
Hold
why
on.
it's not you. He didn't want you. If he wanted you, it'd be you.
And that's
All
okay, right?
Well,
Because
you're just fucking me up
I'm not
now.
fucking you. I'm being truthful.
You're fucking me up.
Yeah, but she's saying she's the one that left, and like he wants her. No,
Exactly.
well, he's trying to fight.
yeah, but we're talking about. You're trying to say like your man. You left him, right?
Right.
And he's like, "Oh my God, I can't live without her."
that shit happens all the time, and
I didn't
both
even-
ways,
hold on.
not just
I didn't
men
even
to women
talk
or
about
men.
Not
my
necessarily true,
post-separation
but for men.
abuse, because I've definitely had that shit. Niggas be crazy.
What was your experience?
So
Niggas be crazy.
Nick, they do. And I didn't know. And hold on, I didn't even know this until after the relationship
That's
ended.
cap. You wanted him to be crazy.
No.
Amanda,
No,
like,
honestly-
oh, you
She
crazy?
love that shit.
Okay, you really love me.
No. It wasn't even like that. So
She had
there was
7
this one time
flags before the breakup, and she didn't see none of them.
I was
No, let her talk.
This is true.
She gonna tell
No,
you.
it's not. No, it's not. He was very like normal. He was normal.
No, he wasn't.
Here it comes.
Yes, he was. So I was working at a hotel at the time, right? And I had a late shift. I get off at 11. And during my break, he came into the hotel. But mind you, I'm in break, so I'm in the back. And it was in the back with one of my other coworkers. And when we both came out, he was like looking at me coming, and I was like, what is he doing here? Mind you, we were broken up already. So I'm like, what is he doing here? He pressed me automatically about what I was doing in the back with my coworker.
Oh yeah, that's.
And I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, what are you even doing here? He waited for me to get off, right? We walking. I'm like, all right, he came here to talk to me. So we going on a walk after I got off of work, and we're talking. Wasn't really going the way he expected because, you know, I be standing on my shit. Right? So he starts getting real angry. He walks away from me and starts punching shit.
Oh, he's crazy. Yeah, I don't do
And
that.
I would literally looked at him in disbelief because I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, what is...
And you're like, I'm at work.
What
Like, so
is
you wouldn't
going
even
on?
expect...
Well, we went on this walk after I finished work because he literally stayed around in the lobby.
He came to your job.
He came to my job and he waited around
Were you in the back with another man?
Yes, it was a guy.
That nigga ready to fight.
But we were just on
were
break
broken
at the
up.
same time. Like, we weren't even in the same department. I worked front desk and he worked in housekeeping. So we just so happened to be on break at the same time. So we were just in the back chilling. I was
Clothed?
like,
You were clothed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you
I'm
come
at
out?
work. What do you mean if I'm clothed?
Asking what that man was
But they were broken up, so it doesn't matter what she was doing.
If I still love you, we not fully broken up yet.
What?
Until I stop loving you for real.
That is what is abusive,
Psych.
Rico. Because that is called delusion.
No,
That is called straight up delusion,
called, let
right?
me-
Because
let
if
me
you
get
think that
over it.
I'm your property just because you love me,
No,
then
seriously.
you need to seek help.
You're not my property. You just gotta respect me still.
I don't
then
have
there
to
was
do a
another
damn
time-
thing because who the hell are
There was
you?
another time I went to Atlantic City. I went
Nah,
literally. I went with my mom. I went with my aunt and my sisters. But because we were broken up and he had no idea that I was going to Atlantic City, he saw that I was in Atlantic City on my story on my social media, and he started blowing up my phone.
So now you looking over your shoulder like, is he here too?
But literally, I'm with my
Is he
mom,
here
like
too? That's-
literally sharing
that's
a room with
crazy.
my mom and my sisters, and he keeps calling me, like, and I'm not even declining. Like, I'm just letting it ring out. After a while, I started declining, but he, like, literally, he just kept calling back to back to back to back to back, and I was getting so frustrated because I couldn't even do anything on my phone because he kept calling me.
Get on the ground.
No, that's literally
that's
has
wild.
happened to me before for days and days, like in a row. Like,
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I joke around with y'all. To be honest with you,
I'm not gonna lie, to be honest with you.
like I joke around with y'all, but I've never been in love like that. I've never been in love because
that's not in love.
That's-
That's obsession. That's
Well,
not
I've never
the
been
same
in
thing.
obsession and an obsessional love, even like with the best of the relationships that I had. Yeah, when things went south, I just more than likely it was my fault. I just had to charge it to the game. But you know, the one thing I would say about post separation abuse is when a girl tried to fuck my homie, and I was like, just do it, bro, please. Like, just do it. Right? I think because she thought that it was going to get me upset. So I wanted to prove how stupid it would be if she did do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think when women do that, for some men, it's going overboard for him. But for me, it was like, now we both going to talk about you.
But what about
I don't
those
really even
instances?
think that was a good get back. What I would do is get your new bitch, and she not gonna fuck you no more. And I'm a.
But the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, Amanda, to be honest, I also do feel this too. I feel like this. A lot of men who are obsessive are men who are typically not used to getting good women. Right? I'm not saying that everyone is replaceable, but what I'm saying is that spot can be filled again by somebody of quality. So even if you did take my girl, I'd be like, wow, I would actually be more proud of myself that I had you at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, I really got somebody who's
What about those instances?
good.
What about those instances of triangulation where people are like, yeah, you've moved on, right? But you still, for whatever reason, have a vendetta against me, right? And what do? They do these smear campaigns where they basically set you up for failure, right? Like they're completely lying about who you are, things that you've done. They lie about situations that, have happened between y'all. Like they completely make up a whole story to make you look like you're the bad person, you were the villain, right? And they're poking you behind the scenes, right? And then when you blow up, you're made to look like you're the crazy one, right? So now they're bringing other people into the situation to help poke you.
You got to blow up
Receipts.
first.
It could be anything. It could be like, maybe I didn't realize I had, what I had until now it's gone, and now I want it back, and I'm crashing out because I can't get it back now.
Wait, Vanessa,
Could be.
that sounds like a man. I want you to talk from a woman. For the women that are in that position. Most men say, I didn't know what I had until I lost it, so I came back.
No, I've heard
could
women
have
say
been
the
a
same
woman,
thing
too.
too. I've heard
That
women.
didn't
say
sound
the
like a
same
man
thing.
to me.
Women don't
Well,
say
men are like,
Women
I've
don't say it as
obviously.
often. Thank
No,
you.
women just don't say it in that
Women
way.
just don't say it. They probably just won't admit it.
Because me personally, I don't fall in love easily. Like, that happens every once in a blue moon. So it's like, if I am in that, then I'm trying to keep that. And if we fall out and we done, I'm crashing out. Because this is not happening for me for another couple of years.
I think for your scenario to be that way, the person could feel that way if they're actually doing the work on themselves.
Ooh, that was.
And they're elevating, and now they're where they're at in their life with like all the reflection or like the self-love and all the things they've invested in themselves has brought them to another level. So they're not really even worried about the last person. And so it's harder to meet somebody new because you're in a new place in your life. So the people who you're meeting, you're not used to those people, if that makes sense. Yeah.
But you
if you're actually doing the work, though.
you have to do the work, right?
Though.
Because, like I said, even if like you use the term crashing out, like even if this is how it's affecting you, like you have to do the work on yourself to be able to know how to emotionally regulate yourself. What is it going to take for you to tune back into yourself and focus on you so that you're not developing this obsession about what this person you're no longer with is doing, right?
Well, I feel like this. Obsessions, outside of people who are serial obsessors, right? Obsessions happen when, let's just say you're 35 years old. You've been dating since you were 17. You have 18 years of not finding anybody you've been compatible with or anybody that actually gave you the chance. Now you finally get this one person. You feel, and by the numbers, this is all you've ever had and might be all you'll ever get. So those people lose their mind.
Yeah,
But
devastating. But if that's why you have to do the work, if you know that this is something that has completely shaken my world up, I'm devastated. I don't know how I can't wake up in the morning. Like I've really lost myself. You have to find the motivation within yourself to go and seek the help to get yourself back to a space where you can accept that and you can move on.
Me and Nisha had this conversation, and I think it's very important as a person who is, typically, like you need to be able to weigh out your new partner's exes. And if you are superior to them, then you need to understand that this person might go crazy because you are the best that they've ever had. Now, if you look at them and you be like, yo, you know what? I still think I'm the best, but they're in my category, in my league, then you know that they may not be as crazy, most likely. But if I'm not going to be your only 10. I'm not going to be your only 9. I'm not going to be your only 8. Because that's when the psycho happens.
So you're saying you want to scope out
Show
who
me
she
your
might have
exes, bro.
dated.
If your exes were trash, I'm not dating you.
Are you good?
I'm 100%. I'm fine. Like, I'm not dating you if your exes were trash. You either have one. You either had a bad vetting process in your life coming up to me.
Hold on. I get your disgust for what he's saying, though.
I want to know if he's serious,
But-
though.
Dead ass.
I
looking at
actually
your
had
ex's
to come.
exes?
No, but I had to come to that realization too. Haitian nigga. I really feel like
She's pointing straight to
I
you.
really feel like I'm probably the baddest bitch he ever had. So I'm like, that's why you acting like that.
Mm-hmm. You can't regulate yourself.
The word is humility. First of all, what do you mean the baddest? You don't know all the bitches he's been with.
Well,
And that's for
Well,
you.
That's what I was saying.
And for you, you're looking at your
That's
ex's
why-
exes and you're comparing.
my current exes.
All right,
Yeah.
you're looking at whoever you're talking to.
You said my exes.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're looking at whoever you're talking to's
We need to
exes,
see the
and
lineup.
You're doing a comparison about who you are.
Yes.
So why are you comparing yourself? And who are you to know who they are? You only know her side of the story of who he was.
No. I don't care about the story.
Are you going off looks?
I'm just going
And is
off.
there no room for growth? Is there no room for growth?
Yeah. I don't care about your exes.
That's terrible.
But is there no
That's all
room
your
for growth?
experience
Like
that
if
you
I was in
already
a
had,
phase
so
of my
maybe
life
for me.
where, let's just say, maybe my self-esteem wasn't where it needed to be. Maybe I just, whatever, I wasn't doing the vetting properly and I just, right? So, right. There's no room for growth.
But you're
Like
talking
if I realize that and I say, you know what, yeah, I was wild and like I wasn't loving myself enough, and that's maybe why I was in a situation with these people from my past. That means
I'm
that-
not gonna be your trial of good.
I'm not saying you have to be. I'm just saying, is there no room for people to grow?
There is room, but not like for me, I'm not gonna be your trial your good
But
relationship.
who gets to decide who's that person? Like, who gets to decide? Like, I'm the baddest. Like who?
I do think-
'cause that's subjective.
No.
I
We
can
know who the fuck.
tell.
Come on. Vanessa,
gotta see him.
stop playing around, bro. He acts
But
nuts.
even if we end, you still need to do the work, because if you really feel like your value is tied to just who you're with, then you need to go work on yourself, because once you really truly do the work, you are happy. You're happy, right? Like you're in a state where you're like, regardless of if I'm with this person, you can acknowledge that this person might have been the best relationship that you were ever in. But that doesn't mean like the relationship is over. You have enough love for yourself where you're not gonna be,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
you're not gonna lose yourself over the fact that you're not in a relationship with another human being. Like we bleed all the same.
Vanessa, no. Lions can't date gazelles. And people need
I agree.
No.
I agree with what you said, but what I'm saying is you shouldn't be crashing out even if I am the baddest.
You're
like,
providing
baby,
hope
go
to a
do something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Pick up a hobby.
We're not in the same league.
And work on why this is so devastating to you.
No, but you know why it's like, I don't want to say a problem, but like, you know why it's a little shaky? It's because when you the baddest, they don't know what to do with you.
Exactly, bro.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
So then what do you think? So like my thing is this. Like when you are a quality person, and by quality, I'm not just talking about looks. I'm talking about you're checking off almost all the boxes, right? Of whatever societal standards are. We're just gonna play into that. You now know that you are one of the most desired, or you're in the bracket of being the most desired. People treat prized possessions differently. So, and a lot of times people don't know how to maintain or sustain or even obtain prized possessions. And if they do get it, they don't know how to obtain it more than once. So now when you have these people and you're like, okay, well, I know I'm the best that you've ever had. And they even tell you, maybe they might be lying, but let's just say they're being honest. They are telling you you're the best I ever had. You see it in their eyes. You see it in how they walk. You see it in how they treat you. No, it's not. But then when they do other things that cause the relationship to end, they're going to go crazy because you are the best that they ever had. It's hard to beat your top.
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is I don't disagree with that. Yes, this might be a devastating blow to you, but if you go and you do the work within yourself, you will be all right.
But my thing is, why would you even...
You'll be all right.
But look, as a prized possession, right, Vanessa, you're a prized possession.
Vanessa.
Why would you put yourself in a potentiality of harm's way with somebody who might not be emotionally regulated because they've never been in this bracket? If I know that you've never played at the league in the NFL... I'm saying based on their ex, based on what they're telling you. If I know that you've never played in the top level league, I am not going to allow, I'm never going to be your rookie.
So I got some pushback on that. So what if her exes were what she thought she wanted, and now you're the new person, and that's who she really wanted to begin with, and she just may not know how to handle you right now, but you still have to give that person a chance.
Who? Who has to give who a chance? Who has to give who a chance?
Being with someone that's overly obsessed, if you really want to break it down, you really have to look into their attachment style. And like once you figure that out, you figure out what your attachment style is, and you got to separate that and understand like why they're there for that and how that doesn't work for you. So
well, you looked at like a piece
What
of
if
meat.
it does work for you?
it doesn't, because we're not together. I don't want to be obsessed over. I'm not a god. I'm equal to all, like.
But you
every
were.
woman.
But
I was never. I don't
No?
ever want to be put on a pedestal by a woman. I don't want that.
See, I was put on pedestals, and I was like, God damn, this is disgusting. And that's why I had to look at who the fuck did you have prior. And when I looked at your lineup, I was like,
Your
lineup,
Bro.
you weren't playing in the same league. You jumped 2 steps. You were LeBron. You went from high school to the league. This don't work that way. And a lot of times, like, I do think, is there room for growth? Yes, but you have to see that, like, you have to have incremental growth. You know what I'm saying? You go from high school, you go to college, and you go to the league, right? So if you might not be at the league your entire time, you know, as like me, right? I might have just been in college level status, right? And she might have been in high school. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's only 1. We could give her a chance. But when the gap is 2, you can't do that.
So
The level is too. The level is
you just
different.
have sex with them.
Huh?
And if you do
You have
date
sex
them,
with
they
them?
gotta know how to play the part. If you just very obviously do not know how to play the part, then this is not gonna work.
So do you date them or do you have sex?
I
with
would
them?
never date them. I would never.
So answer the question: do you date them or do you have sex with them?
I might have sex with them.
Okay, and then you wonder why they're crazy because you were out of their league, according to you.
Nah,
and
it has
hit
to-
their
but
crazy
that's-
button, and now they're obsessing over you.
But sometimes-
so you did that to
And
yourself.
if you
look-
fucking, you engaging.
No. Listen, we're not
they got to fuck
discrediting that.
LeBron,
I'm actually.
and now LeBron
you
has
gotta
ghosted.
realize though,
They really want
sometimes
LeBron
it's
now.
called charity sex.
Oh God!
Right? You're doing them a favor. You're providing them proof with the ability that they.
You give out charity sex, that's you doing a disservice to yourself. If I feel like I'm sleeping with you for charity, I'm playing myself.
Y'all gotta understand.
I'm playing myself.
I agree with that.
charity sex.
You're
No,
a woman
thank
is
you.
different. As a man, if for example, you gotta understand in 2018, I was named the top 10 men on Instagram, right? By Essence Magazine. So you have to think about how many women I'm getting
need the
daily,
link.
right?
You need
so
the link.
if you catch me at the right function off the right liquor, and I'm like, yeah, you know, typically I wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it today. It's like, all right, cool. She's gonna be like, well, and you know, Future said it best. I got girls still bragging me I haven't fucked in over years, right? So it happens that way, but that's because you are at a different league.
Okay, so that doesn't speak to your vetting process. So now you're
But
just
that-
giving.
I wasn't. No.
and
Charity dick.
But you gotta understand, we're not like as a man, especially a desirable man. You're not. A lot of men, and we're not gonna sit here and act like you haven't. But if you haven't, whatever, Rome.
charity dick.
We all know we had sex with women that were not at our league, right? So when you have sex with that woman that you know is not
You
at
are her
your league,
equal.
you
are
are
her
providing hope that she can be in your league. She can date in your league. She can achieve.
Maybe you
in
just
your
brought
league.
yourself down.
Or
You definitely did. That's what I'm saying. When you lay
We're
down,
not saying that we didn't bring ourselves down, but you're also bringing somebody up.
Oh my
You
God!
bring somebody up. Like you bring somebody up.
So you level women up. That's what you're trying to say.
You give them hope
Oh God!
with your penis.
with my presence and penis.
Yuck.
I'm just joking,
Okay.
but realistically, that is the truth though, because if every man, if I say, look, every man I ever known has had an L underneath their belt, at least one. Those L's did not come from a vetting process. Those L's did not come from I talked to her for 3 weeks and then decide. Those L's came from spontaneous sex that happened in the moment. He was horny and he knew.
So I could be like, you can't, you give out charity sex. Like that's beneath me. Like somebody can say that your stock drops because of something like that.
I mean, technically you could, but it's not realistic for a guy because every guy has an L. Every desirable guy has an L underneath their belt.
Women don't.
I don't know. I if we go by what they say,
Okay.
See, I can admit that.
Yes.
But let's say, okay, so ask the
We
lady,
do what?
Do y'all got L's
do
underneath
what?
y'all belt?
No, it's not. It's not even L's under the belt, but more or less.
You're like, what? Who's that?
Y'all ain't never give out charity pussy?
No, I'm not even saying that.
Like, you know.
More or less.
All right, so look, let's be
You ever
real.
seen a bad
Let's be
chick?
real. Every time a girl says, look, Alan, every time a girl says, this is typically a guy I would not date,
It's a
she's
no.
giving out charity pussy. No, she wasn't charmed. She's giving out hope to a dude not on her league.
Use what you got.
Bro, Alan, are you serious? Girls will give sex to men that they think have earned it over a period of time. They deserve some pussy. What do you mean? We had this last week. She said I was gonna give sex to anybody. It was gonna be the guy I was friends with for 10 years. Right? This is what women do. We're not gonna sit here and act like that's not what women do. And that is charity sex. That is charity pussy, because that man is not on your league. You're not attracted to him. You never wanted him, but he deserved it. So you want to be charitable.
We've been friends for 10 years. I'm not attracted to him, but I'm gonna give him the pussy.
That just happened last week.
Of course. So
Not really.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Let's wrap up, guys.
We got other situations.
Keep us alive.
We got other situations. I can name 2 in the last 2 weeks that we all know of. Like, women give it out too. We're not gonna play that game. Look at Rome. Look.
I think everybody has secrets that maybe no one knows.
Because you like to brag.
Not all of them.
I don't agree that men are less secretive. I think everybody has that switch in them. Like,
Only
I
the
think
weak ones. See, like, the thing is,
I think it's
a man,
equal
like,
across the board.
I think a lot of men who can accept their decisions, right or wrong or indifferent, and can wear it as in this is a situation that I've grown from. I think women don't want to wear the I've grown title as much.
No, I think women are just scrutinized more than men when it comes to this category, right? Because if you say, yeah, I used to fuck 10 bitches in one night, but I'm grown, I'm married now, like, but if I say that, it's gonna be like, who wife that bitch, right? We're just scrutinized more. So it's a double standard. Like, we know that. We can have that conversation all night long.
Maybe it's only a double standard because y'all are all secretive. If every woman,
Rico, we're not gonna do this because good and damn well it's a double standard because that's just what it's always been.
You allow a man to
it ain't got nothing to do with that.
I would personally like the woman that said she had 10 bodies and was honest about it, because I'm gonna expect some magic. That's just me.
And then you get in there.
But everybody's different, right? You're like, you might not have a problem with that.
Rome, then you
ask for bodies ever.
Rome, then you look, Rome, then you have the same sex you've been having, like all of them got 10 bodies. like that's the truth, right? I just want the truth from y'all. That's all I want.
You can get it when we get it.
Maybe one day.
Amanda, we're gonna close out.
Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. We loved having you here, Vanessa.
All right, thank you for having me.
Great addition to today's
I think
episode.
I'm gonna need some mental health.
You definitely need it, but we'll talk about the price.
After you drove me crazy today.
No, you need some real cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay, so once again, let them know where they can find you, your social media handles.
Your address.
Your social security, girl, all that.
My social media handle is so long, right? Vanessa_La Belleza 29. They don't even know how to spell that.
Y'all better write
put it on the screen for me.
I was about to say, y'all better write that
What
under
is that?
here.
What is that?
Vanessa La Belleza, the beautiful one.
Are you Spanish?
Yeah.
What kind?
Puerto Rican. What kind?
What kind? What kind of Spanish?
Same shit. What
Puerto
kind?
Rican.
What background? Whatever. Puerto Rican? Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's my sister.
Wow.
That's my sister and my cousin.
Oh, y'all are related?
Yeah, that's my cousin. And
No, that's why she says sister and cousin.
Oh.
That means related.
No, he only her
I
sister.
wouldn't put it together. I'm sorry. Not bad.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Keep up with us this summer. New episodes every Thursday and Sunday. And catch us on the next episode. Bye.